smart filters. Smart filters work the best in the smart object. If I rasterize this layer, now it's not a smart object. You can add any filter that you want. For example, we will add blur. Actually, let's add the Gaussian blur so we can see it. Just like this, we can add the filters, but we don't have the ability to edit the filter. To work non-destructively and have control over the smart filters, make your layers smart object and then add your smart filter. Now if I press OK, we still have the ability to edit our smart filter. You can double click on this area to change the blending mode and also the opacity. You can also double click on this area to change the settings of the filter. Okay, let me remove this one. Right click on it and delete the filter or clear the smart filter, just like this. We already covered the Gaussian blur. Let's go to the next kind of blur, which will be the fill blur. It's in the blur gallery. With this one, you can have a point on your photo, and each point will have a percentage of the blur, and you will give that percentage to it. For example, this area I want to be this blurry, and this area I don't want any blur on it. Just like this. And you can have as many points as you want. Over here you have more controls. You can play with the amount of the blur, and then you can have the iris blur. You can have the tilt shift, something like this. Then you can play with it. You can control the size and the rotation. Then you have the shift or path blur. You can change the direction of the blur just like this. Let me disable this. The last one is the spin. It will give you something like this, and then you can play with the size. To apply this filter, press OK, and then if you want to edit again, just double click on it and come over here to change the settings. Let me right click on it and delete the smart filter. We will move to the next one. I think this is enough for the blur. Let's go to the distort. I'm going to show you the ripple effect. It will give a look just like this to your photo. Let me Ctrl Z and go to the next one. In the distort, we have the pinch. The pinch gives something like this to your photo. And then we have the polar coordinates. It will make your photo like a sphere. Then you have the shear. With this one you have the graph. You can have different point and move your photo, distort your photo according to this graph. You can also repeat the edges and you'll have something like this. Let's go to the next one. We have the spherize. This one will make your photo like a sphere. Then we have the modes. Now we are in the normal. We can change it to the horizontal. It will distort it horizontally, and then you have the vertical, distorting it vertically. Let's go to the next one. We have the twirl effect. It will just do this to your photo. And the next one, we have the wave. It will make your photo like a wave. This effect is very useful when you're working with sea or you want to make a water effect. Okay, let's move to the other one. Ctrl Z and go to the other one. We have the zigzag. It will do something like this to your photo. Then we have the style. You can change the style. Okay, let's cancel this and go to the next group. We have the sharpen. This is basically sharpen the photo. And then you have the stylize. You have many effects here. If I choose find edges, we will have a stroke around each edge that we have on this photo. Let me remove this one. Now let's move to the next one. I'll remove this one. Go to the filter, stylize, and then we'll use the oil paint. So basically this will give us an oil paint look to our photo. Just like this. Let me remove this one. We have something else called filter gallery. Over here we have a lot of filters. They're all styles that you can add to your photos, and each of them have their own properties. I want you to go over them and see, maybe in future you will need one of them, and I'm sure you will need it. There are just too many, and then with each of them they have their properties and controls. Yeah, and that's all about the filters. I didn't cover all of them, but I covered the one that you may need during your work. We will be using some of these filters in our more advanced sections when we talk about the photo montage and other stuff. But for now, I want you to go ahead and explore these filters for yourself. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.